Hello, everybody. This is Veronica Valley.
And this is Chip Summers.
It's so funny doing this when it's not on the podcast, right?
Well, I don't even know. I don't know which side of you I am, so I'm just going to keep straight ahead and hope that that's good. I could look that way or that way. I don't know which way I'm supposed to be looking, but yeah,
So, hi, everyone. Chip and I wanted to
yeah.
drop.
Hi.
We wanted to drop
Oh,
by. Hi. Morning, afternoon, wherever you are. We wanted to drop by. I'm just making sure it's live on Soberful because it takes a couple of seconds to come up. Oh, there it is. Wonderful. If you're watching and you want to make comments, you can drop comments in and we'll try and answer your questions. So Chip and I, we see this a lot in the Soberful group about people going back to day one, keep going back, and the why is it so hard and all that kind of thing. And that's like the one thing we're experts in. We're not experts in a whole lot of things, but we're experts in
it's the
this.
one that, yeah. We know a little bit about this.
Don't
Yeah,
ask us about anything else because we're
yeah. No, exactly.
literally
Yeah,
clueless.
yeah,
But we do know a little bit about this because between us we've been sober over 50 years. That's a
yeah,
little heavier on Chip's side than mine.
yeah,
Um, so, um, so we see this a lot. We see people talk about being back at day one, why they can't stop drinking, why it's so hard. And it is challenging at the beginning, but there's a lot you can do to make it easier. And when you have some information and the right kind of strategies, this whole process can go a lot more smoothly and your chance of success is much higher.
yeah.
So why
Well,
not?
I mean, why can't we stop drinking? I mean, I think we need to recognize that the drinking is usually just only a symptom of much bigger things that maybe go back further in time, that may be present, but it's just a tiny symptom. It's never just the drinking. The drinking is just a small, in a way, a small part of it. It's that usually the last thing we go to, but it's a symptom of a lot of other things that have been left unaddressed. And certainly part of this program is about going to be helping you address those other things so that drinking doesn't feel like the only option you have to get through life.
Yeah, that's the big thing is when we've switched from all of us when we start drinking it's fun, for most people we have a fun experience. I drank pretty My drinking was pretty unmanageable from my first drink, but my perception was it was still fun. And then it crossed a line and then it became as a really accessible way for me to cope with how I felt. I was uncomfortable in my own skin. I didn't like myself very much. I
Yeah,
found social situations to be really, frankly, terrifying. I found other people terrifying. I found a lot of situations terrifying. And alcohol just took the edge off of that.
yeah.
So,
And I think,
sorry, go on.
well, I hope that we can really help people change the way that they think about the whole thing, change their mindset about how they feel about themselves, how they feel about drinking, how they feel about how they fit in the world, but really start doing a bit of work on how they. It's about changing your thinking. I mean, I know it's an old cliche, but if nothing changes, nothing's going to change. So this program is about helping people bring about those changes, helping them, making them realize that actually they're not huge. If you do them in little incremental bits, they come together, and actually it's a lot less frightening than you often think when you're in that position.
So one of the things we need to change in order it's not the getting sober, it's the staying sober. It's not the
Yeah,
stopping, it's the staying
yeah,
stopped.
yeah,
That's the bit that's the challenge because I think most people with the right circumstances can stop. It's the staying that way. I know I have a lot of people who've done like a 30-day challenge, a 100-day challenge, and they all come and go, I just felt so much better. I got more done. I just felt better. It was great. And I committed to this 100 days and then I started again. And now, like, I want to stop again, but it's just hard. So we can stop sometimes for a small bit amount of time, but it's staying that way. So we have to learn what I call sober skills, which are really just life skills that we didn't learn because for whatever reason we didn't learn them in our family of origin, or we just didn't learn because we weren't really able to grow when we were drinking and had an alcohol use disorder. We have to change how we deal with other people. So I drank because I just found, well, I couldn't. I was a people pleaser. Couldn't stand any kind of conflict. I would, how I felt about everything. So I drank to cope with that. So without alcohol, I still had to go to work and deal with
yeah.
people, and that was a skill I had to learn.
Yeah, and it's perfectly learnable. And it feels, I'm sure, for many people, oh my God, this is such a big task, but it is perfectly learnable. And we're going to help you feel better about yourselves. We're going to help you get to a point where you don't want to drink, where you are going to be in a situation whereby you feel strong about that. And as I said, I mean, I really agree. Almost all of us have been able to string together periods of time where we don't drink. The secret, of course, is maintaining that and establishing that over a long period of time. And that's definitely where help is essential. Helping to learn how to make that thing that you can do for a short period of time a long period of time, a long period of time.
So it's stuff like boundaries, being able to say no to people, being able to deal with difficult people. All of us have difficult people in our lives.
Yep.
Dealing with the people who are around you who don't get why you want to stop drinking. I've seen in the Facebook group, and this really upsets me. I've seen people like being ridiculed and laughed at by their family members, like, oh, you'll drink again, or all this kind, and that really bothers me. I have to say,
it bothers me too. And I think one of the things we'll certainly help you how to handle that, but also be aware of it and lot to look out for, because you'll be surprised how, if you make a decision to stop drinking, there are a lot of people around you who have got an agenda about your drinking, who may like the fact that you are disempowered when you're drinking. And this is going to be about empowering you. And sometimes people don't like that. And they prefer it when they're in control and they're in the powerful situation. So we're going to be teaching you how to deal with that kind of situation, how to get your power back, how to stop being disempowered, and how to be able to deal with the people around you who you'd think would be wanting you to get better, but often act in a different way.
And it's very interesting, the people who are invested in you still drinking because it serves them. We come up against that a lot.
Yeah.
So what we're talking here is a mindset change. Mindset is kind of like how we see the world and perceive it, and believe. It's a lot of it is limiting beliefs. You can change that, and when you change that, your experience of being in the world is completely different. So that's one we teach the tools that can help that, enable that to happen.
Yeah, I think we all come in with a very flawed mindset. We don't have a good image of ourselves. We have in a way, we have a dishonest view of ourselves. We think we're absolutely rubbish. And actually, again, what we want to try and help you do is to dredge up those things within you that, are really good assets that you've got that we can build on and help you interact with other people better.
So how do we do that? The first thing we have to do is and it can feel like the hardest thing at the beginning but we have to accept that alcohol just doesn't serve us anymore, that it's not a benefit, that it doesn't bring anything, it just takes. Now that is a mindset shift in itself, and it's not something that usually happens overnight. It's something that can feel like a struggle because of the bombardment of messages that alcohol is a benefit and it brings you all of the things that you want. And if you saw any of my earlier videos, you heard me talk about, we have created this belief in our culture that alcohol is the best vehicle to get to the land of fun, excitement, belonging, connection, relaxing, romance, and sex. So we have because we believe that, even though intellectually we may know that's not true, because we believe it, we feel it. When we think about not drinking, we feel that we're going to let go. We're not going to have those things in our life. We're going to be missing out. Missing out is the big thing. And so we do a lot of work around drilling down and really looking at whether that's true, looking at the cost of drinking, all of that kind of stuff. And sorry, go on.
No, go on. Well, I was going to say, I think that's probably the one exercise that is a little bit uncomfortable for people, is doing what we call a cost-benefit analysis, where you are really asking you to look at how much your drinking has cost you, how it has affected almost every single area of your life, how it's affected your family life, your social life, your work life, how you've got into all kinds of difficult situations, how you've tried to control it, how you've lost control of it. All those things, that is probably the one part of the program. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but it has to be faced. We have to really have a good look at cost of my drink, to the benefits I get from drinking. And I'm absolutely sure that 100 times out of 100 we'll find that the cost-benefit analysis works out that it isn't worth drinking. But I think that is probably one of the exercises that's a little bit uncomfortable, and I think we've all shied away from it. That's why we're in the position that we are, because we've not done that exercise up till now.
I always liken that to, it's almost like a little bit like when you've got a tooth that's bothering you and you don't want to go to the dentist, you don't want to go to the dentist, you don't, if that's me, I just avoid it as long as I can until I can't avoid it any longer. And I don't want to go to the dentist, and I know it's going to be an unpleasant 45 minutes, which it is. And then it's done, and the relief. It's like, oh my God, like my whole life was dominated by my tooth pain, and now I'm free, and it's amazing. And, just getting through that, I think having a bit of help and support makes that whole completely different and a much easier experience. And that's how the mindset begins to shift. We begin to see the world differently. Someone asked me the other day, actually, about, they were 8 years sober, and they said they still kind of look at drinking and kind of have this, that looks nice. And do I ever think that? And the truth is, once in an absolute blue moon, and I mean maybe once every couple of years, and for me it's always around the football.
Okay.
When like the World Cup is on or something, I always, it's summer, England, sitting in a pub outside by the river with the football on, I always kind of think like, oh yeah, that would be really nice. But what happens is the instant that thought goes through my head, it's followed by, and then all of the stuff that would happen next, and that would be like, oh no, I don't want any of that. So once in a absolute blue moon, it does. But because I perceive alcohol, it'd be like giving me a cup of bleach. Like, it's just doesn't bring.
That's not good.
No,
that's not good. No.
It doesn't bring anything. That's to
be avoided.
Yeah, it doesn't bring anything. So
other toxic chemicals are available, but yes, bleach is not a good idea. Yeah, we're looking at getting you to evaluate whether or not the decision to get sober is going to be one that's worthwhile. And certainly I know that I had that period of time of doing the exercise that we've just talked about looking at a cost-benefit analysis, looking back at my life, seeing that it wasn't very nice, looking forward and seeing that it was quite a frightening place to be, but actually finding that I would rather look forward and go through that difficult stuff than go back to where I was before. And so looking at the benefits of drinking, not as something to be frightened of, but something to be benefits of not drinking rather, not something to be frightened of, but something that is, it's going to be risky, it's going to be challenging, but it's going to be something that is so much better, and it's going to outweigh the past by a million miles. You're going to feel, it's such a cliche thing to say, and it's very difficult to get across, but you are going to feel so much better as a result of working a program, getting sober. And although it may feel right now that that's unachievable, I can guarantee you that you will feel better, and that you will know that this is a worthwhile exercise.
So we want to tell you a little bit about the Sober Kickstart, which is a workshop that Chip and I are hosting next Saturday. You can attend live, or you can you'll receive the workshop as a video afterwards, so you'll have the whole thing and you can watch that at your leisure whenever you want to. But there's certain things we cover, and the reason that we cover them is with this kind of box of tools, if you like, you will be in a much stronger position to be able to not just stop drinking, but stay stopped, get past day 1, get to day 30, get to 6 months, and see your life expand and improve. So there's a few things we know. We do the cost benefit analysis. We walk you through that. We help with the mindset shifts that you need. We also look at your strengths and your challenges, because everybody has them. Everyone comes to their first day of sobriety with some strengths they have, which I'm going to say often people can't see their own strengths.
Not at all.
Right?
Yeah.
They can't.
Not at all. Yeah. Ask anybody who's drinking or who's in trouble for 5 good things about themselves, and they'll really struggle. Ask them for 5 bad things, and they'll be able to do it in 5 seconds. It's recognizing that we are not just drunks or whatever it is we've been told we've been for years. We've got skills, we've got assets, and we want to tap into those and really make the most of them.
And we also help you deal with any challenges that you currently have. Now, this stuff is really massively helpful. And I'll tell you why. We still have this. So I will have like something will be going on with me. And when you're in it, it's really hard to see the path out. So I have people that I trust, that I call or speak to, that after that conversation and that they've helped me shift my mindset, I realized what I was seeing was not really what was happening. So this happened with a client of mine just the other week. She was in the middle of moving house, and it was sort of almost done, and she was about to go and have surgery. So she was moving house. It was a bit chaotic. That bit was fine. She had surgery planned, and her power went out. There was a complicated issue. Anyway, she had no power. It was very hot. She didn't have air conditioning. And she was all day had run around trying to figure out what she was going to do when she was recovering from surgery in her new house with her 2 young children and no power. And she contacted me really desperate. I'm not thinking about drinking, but it's there. I just don't know what to do. And we spoke, and I said, you need to cancel your surgery. You need to postpone it, postpone it. You need to the first thing you need to do is get power, because it's like 100 degrees where she lived. Get the power, get that sorted. The kids, get the kids sorted for school. And then when you're calmer, then have the surgery a month from now. And she was just like, oh, yeah. But she couldn't see it because she was in the middle of it. It was a big, big challenge. So we need people to reflect back to us and kind of help pull us out of situations so we can do things differently. And I'm capable of doing the same thing. Absolutely. Most of the time I can pull myself out, but sometimes I get stuck. And
I spoke to you the other day about the situation where I'd got stuck with some people, and they were really difficult people. And I think that's another thing that will be part of the program, is about how to deal with other people.
Yes.
Because some people are going to be very supportive. Some people, as we just mentioned earlier on, may have a vested interest in you not actually doing very well. You're going to have to deal with people not trusting you. You're going to have to deal with people being suspicious, even though you have made this tremendous commitment to come on board to the program and to kind of get on board with it and to make this big decision. You're going to find that although you feel really strong about it, other people are going to be, really, we've been down this road before. And dealing with those people is going to be something that you're going to learn on the program, because it can be really upsetting having people who are still mistrustful, still suspicious, when you're making this really big change. So it's about dealing with that sort of person. It's dealing with people who are interested in sabotaging you. It's dealing with, as you said, just with how to deal with difficult people and other people in general. People can be hard work, relationships can be difficult, and we're going to help you learn how to try to deal with all those things. As I said just now at the start, I had a situation this week where I've really struggled with some people, and I had to ask Ronnie for some help and a bit of just sort of guidance, and that's the sort of trick we're going to be teaching you. It's about, when you're in a situation like that, how do I deal with that?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say, dealing with other people, I think is difficult for everybody, right? If everyone did what I wanted everyone to do, the world would just run so smoothly, but it doesn't. And learning that skill in itself is life-changing. Yeah. We'll also talk about dealing with partners who are not supportive, or partners who are drinking, or that kind of stuff, or what to say. We have a lot of this is how you can say this, which is, again, really, really helpful.
I would just say, if the world ran the way I wanted it to, better actually, not you, but my way would be better. But yeah.
Okay. We're going to talk about why other people take your sobriety personally, because people really, really I know it feels to me like half the world is gluten-free right now, and nobody seems to take that personally, or dairy-free or nut-free. But if you're alcohol-free, people take that very personally. And
they do. And you, as soon as you say I'm not drinking, they will either be questioning you 100 times about why you're not drinking, what is it that's going wrong with you, what's the matter with you, why can't you man up and drink, or they'll get very defensive about their drinking. I'm thinking about stopping too, and all that sort of stuff. People do take it very personally. All you're saying is, I'm not drinking. And that's also something that will be on the program, is teaching you how to let people know that you're not drinking, and how to deal with those people who kind of question it and make it difficult for you. And as you say, if you say you're gluten-free or whatever it is, nobody questions it. If you say you're not smoking, people think it's great.
Yeah.
because drinking, people start getting very, very uncomfortable.
So, so the Sober Kickstart, in a nutshell, there's two elements to it. When you sign up, you get a bunch of videos that Chip and I have done and some worksheets and handouts. It's all designed about getting to 30 days and beyond. It'll give you a foundation. And you also get to attend this live workshop, and you get to keep the video afterwards. So if you attend live, that's great. If not, well, everybody who signs up will get a copy of it afterwards. And it's great to go back to kind of go over, like, oh, this is how you can say stuff, this is how you can do stuff, this is a better way of, etc., etc., etc. So we've been doing this for a long time. It's one of the, like I said, the only thing we really do very well. And
It's one of the things I do very well. Yeah.
One
Okay.
of the things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we really hope that you will join us. It takes place next Saturday, the 21st. I will put the link in the comments for anybody who wants to sign up. If you have questions, please reach out and let me know. But this is an affordable and accessible tool to get you started, so that you don't have to keep coming back and saying, why am I on day one? Why am I on day one? This will give you the answers. Now, I think Chip and I are back next week. We have another little video that we're going to do. I can't remember which day, but if you check, I put it in the events in Facebook, check that out.
It's reassuring that you don't know when it is, but let's continue. Yeah. We'll continue. Yeah. Carry on. Yeah.
So we'll be back next week to teach you a few more things, and we hope to see you next Saturday.
Yeah, so do I.
All right.
Bye-bye.